Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent's gone first with OG for 10. I've got the Q and the U, which is a good combination. I've got the W and the F, which are not bingo-y tiles. And although the QU is a good combination, it's not a bingo-y combination, so I'm looking to play it for score quite quickly. Now, WAQF is good, W-A-Q-F, and that plays above OG. Let me see what this scores. The F softens the U because they're synergetic. That's 30 points. Now, if I'm going to play off the U with the Q, I would like to play off either the W or the F with it. There isn't an S for squaw, and Qoph through the O of OG doesn't score very much. Now I'm looking in column 10 to see if I had a word beginning QUE, which places the Q on the triple letter square. Yeah, even if that retains the W and the F, it's not going to score enough to be better than WAQF. That's not too bad, given what I kept. Onto an R, I believe I would have unbitter. I don't think there's a 7-letter bingo here. And I need to consider the O, G and F, and all the floaters in enemies, which is a good bingo for my opponent. 92 points for him. Now, intubate is good through an A. 1 square out in row A for that. Unbitten, I don't think is good. I'm not going to try it. Can't see anything through the O or the M or the I. Nothing down from the F that I can see. And the O and the G, nothing. So, what am I going to do? I could play bun at A15 down. Let me see what that scores. 31 points, which is a good score. I don't like keeping the duplicate T, but it's not a disaster. It is a good score. I think I do need to play in the top right, because otherwise I'm just gifting a good scoring opportunity for my opponent. And this rack leave, well, EINT would be a lot better. I don't think I can do that. Even if I began with a T. Wow, what would Tub score? This might be worth the sacrifice. 27 points. Oh well, I think that is worth doing. Yeah, that's a much better rack leave. Well, 38 points. $27 to 38. Yeah, that's certainly worth 11 more points. And INT is pretty good, especially with the floating O of OG. Just checking that all the words are good, and they are. Wow, that's good. Retain is a fantastic 6-letter set. It goes with almost every other letter. And one of the letters it goes with is the O. So I'm hoping that the word it makes comes to mind. Gosh, Surely. There is, I absolutely know there's a word here, because it goes with every letter apart from A and V. This is going to be a terrible miss if I do miss it. God, oterine, yes, oterine. Great, it did come back to mind, and there isn't an anagram of it. Now, oterine certainly plays in row I to make OE as well. Is there a better spot for it? Yep, row F making U, EWE. Neither of those gets doubled. What about through the O of OG? Don't think there is a bingo there. Now what about down from the F of WACFs? Well, there may be a bingo there, but it's not coming to mind, and it may not begin with an F. So, oterine across here is what I'm considering. $69 points, not a great score, but I can't see a way of getting more. For future reference, OG takes a Y in front to make yogi. Now this is reasonably balanced, but I can't see a bingo. I've got the out prefix, and there's the T of oterine, which gives me it, but I don't have an 8 beginning with out. Not too many other floaters to consider. I'm briefly looking at them. The U doesn't help this rack, but the U does go quite well with the O, so I should be able to resolve it and leave a decent rack leave. Not too many hot spots on this board. I'm looking at column 8 to see if I've got something beginning at A8, 6-letter word ending in I. Uri is H-O-U-R-I is only a 5. So nothing there, so probably I'm looking at row E above oterine if that stays available. But having said that, I haven't actually seen a great spot. And I should also consider non-bingos, which are double doubles through the T of oterine. Which is unlikely, because it would have to begin with, well, it would have to have T in second place. So, has my opponent provided anything nice? Well, I could play hood in row D, but that's not playing off the U, and the U is a real downer. It's a non-bingo-y tile. Do not want to hang on to that. My opponent's scoring well. He's got a 43-point lead. So I need to, or I'd like to keep scoring. Well, this is a harder rack than I was expecting. Ah, except I can play hour down here. $25 points, decent score. Rack leave, slightly dodgy. Too many vowels. But I can't play hour and... well, I can't play O-U-R and my O. So I think this is the best I can do. Well, that's fortunate. I pick up no vowels, so this rack is balanced. Can't see a bingo with it, but it's probably quite close to one. My priority is to play off the Y and probably the G as well. I'm looking at the O of oterine to see if there's a bingo. Can't see one. I've got the endo prefix, but SGY doesn't go well with that, or doesn't make anything with that. There's also the T of Oterine, which I'm considering for bingos. Can't see anything there. Now, looking at the score, I'm 18 points behind, but my opponent's on turn. Now, is there anywhere for my Y? Great, only 20 points for my opponent. He's eased up slightly. Well, I can play Yon down here. But the trouble with that, 22 points is not very many, and it's keeping the D and the G, which are not bingo-y tiles, so I'd like to do better than that. I've got 12 minutes left, 46 tiles left, so not in time trouble yet, but I haven't built up any time I can spend. Looking down from the F of Wax, can't see anything there. My S goes after Ewer, but I'd quite like to keep that. Now my Y goes here. So now, having said I want to keep hold of my S, I do have Gonus. Let me see what this scores. It sorts out the GD combo. 40 points is huge. That's definitely better, a lot better than anything else I've seen. Now, this isn't great, but I was drawing 5 random tiles, so that's not surprising. I have a 2-point lead, but my opponent's on turn, so he still has got the advantage. Can't see anything down from the F of Wax. Well, I have fiddled, but that doesn't quite reach the double word square. This should be fairly easy to resolve. A simple play of did or lid would leave a decent rack leave. And I could play either of those exactly where my opponent has played kid. But I can pursue this ladder down. 2 S's and 2 blanks left. So this is a tight board. And one bingo could give a significant edge to whoever gets it. It's only 21 points, that's not huge. So is there a better spot? Kid takes an S in front, so I am taking out that opportunity. Now with 2 blanks, it might be worth playing off more than just 3 tiles. So tiddle would be a 6-letter word. There's nowhere for that. Yeah, I think this is the best. Gosh, all these duplicate tiles, and this is going to be a real problem. I'm going to struggle to score with this rack. And if my opponent keeps the ladder going, then I'll be in a difficult position, because if I would then need to play in row N. Yeah. And the V doesn't take anything underneath it, so that's ended that little ladder. Not that there's anything aspirational about a ladder. Now, what can I do? Only 1-point tiles. 32 tiles left. I'm looking in row G underneath Oterine, but I don't have anything to go after ABBA, so I'm not going to score very much. And the C of Clan takes nothing above it. The TI formed by Jet takes nothing in front of it. Do I have can I play 6 letters down from the F? I've got Fillet. That's a dreadful score. Now, what does Clan take after it? Nothing that I've got on my rack. var takes nothing in front of it. Oterine takes nothing in front. I've got 9 minutes left, 32 tiles left. Ewers, I don't have anything to go in front of that. I really don't like fillet. What about flight? Nine points, that's dreadful. And it might not even be good. Wow. Good play by my opponent when he played var. Gosh. I'm looking at plays playing on to EME in row D, can't see anything. Well, I think I am going to go with flight. I think it's good. Doesn't look that good. So, what can I do? I'm thinking about playing fillet. Extremely dangerous. Yeah. Don't like that. 10 points and, well, I'm waiting to be punished because that can now be a 7-letter play on ending in S. But if my opponent doesn't have that, he's going to have to block it. And I don't have a bingo, but I've got scoring tiles in the G, the P and the Y. And a play of GYP would leave a rack leave of EIRT. Now I've only got 7.5 minutes left. Great. Only 14 points for my opponent. Hopeless. Well, that's just a measure of relief. I'm not disrespecting my opponent. 20 points for Gapey. Fabulous rack leave. Well, pretty good. If I pick up an S, it'll be excellent. But this board is really closing down now. Now, Gapey only scores 20 points and I'm 30 points behind. Do I really want to close this board down? Not really. Not really. So can I do something better than Gapey? Well, not too many opportunities on this board. And I'm short on time. Maybe if I play Gapey, my opponent, well, it's a tight board, so this puts my opponent in a difficult position. Because with a tight board, he's not going to want to open the board up. Now, I do have a 7-letter bingo. I've got evirate. Nowhere to play it. Just looking around to make sure that that assertion is correct, and it is. Now, this is quite a dangerous board. In the sense that my opponent's got a 10-point lead. And if he gets a 40-point lead, I may struggle to create openings to catch him up. It's going to be difficult to create multiple openings. But my opponent's in a difficult position because he can't easily score 30 points. If he plays through the Y of Gapey, he'll be opening up row O and it's triple word squares. Yeah, that ladder towards the bottom left has really blocked the board up. I need to keep in mind row A for 9-letter words ending AT. There's not going to be many of those, and even fewer within my vocabulary. 63 points. What a killer. Yeah, great play by my opponent. That has really blocked the board up. So he's got a fabulous score, and he's opened nothing at all. So, what can I do? There's no bingo lanes at all on this board, which means if I open one, my opponent will shut it down. And he's got a great lead, so this isn't looking good. Well, I could play VAC up here. But the score's hopeless and the V isn't that amazing a floater. What about Vi here? Well, it doesn't score very much. It doesn't achieve very much. Nine points, but I am providing a floater in the V. Is that really the best I can do? Well, it may give my opponent problems in blocking that, and he may choose not to block it. That's not a good pickup. Through an O, I would have Wantoner, I think. Yeah, nice play by my opponent. That Z isn't particularly bingo-y. But I've got the V as a floater. I'm 100 points behind. I can now open a second lane. But the trouble is I am so far behind that a bingo may not win. And it's going to be tricky opening a lane, because I want to play off the W and the N. So I'm looking to see if I can open up column 15. Can't see a way of doing that, and or to open up the top left of the board. And that's going to be a struggle as well. I'm looking to see if I can play in row A in order to open up row B, so play onto the AT. Certainly want to play off the W and the N. Can I do that? Gosh. Well, I can do it down here. I'm not opening up a new spot on the board, but 34 points is pretty good for only 2 tiles. Right. I do have a 7-letter bingo. I have 3 of them: Moranti, Minaret, Raymond. Nowhere for them to play. Do I have anything through the Z? I've got the IZE ending, but I don't have an 8. What about through the V? Can't see anything through that. What about through the AT in row A? Nope. Onto an E, I would have anti-Mia. Now, I've got 3 minutes left, which isn't much. There are 8 tiles in the bag. Oh, anti-Mia. Fantastic. Well, that saved me a bit of thinking time, and I'm placing my M on this double letter square. It's a stroke of good fortune. Probably won't be enough, but who knows? 89 points, that's huge. And I'm 1 point behind. I've got fops. My opponent has got a whole heap of vowels. Can I play fops? I've got 2.5 minutes on my clock. The F and the P are good scoring tiles. I may need to go out in 1 in order to win. because otherwise my opponent will have 2 goes. Well, I can't see a way of doing that. I can play theme in row D for 18 points, and then I can probably go out with OPS. I've got SOP in row H. Now this is time when I would like to have more than 2.5 minutes to identify the best moves. I think FOPs would win, but that doesn't play, and it's the only 4-letter word on my rack. Through an O I would have spoof, nothing through a V, nothing through AT in row A, no 7-letter word ending EME. So I'm really looking for good spots for my F and my P. I've seen theme. Can't see anywhere good for my P. Poa in row N. And I'm wondering if there's anywhere good for my S. Gids and Vars, probably the best I can see. My opponent's got a long time. He ought to be able to plan an out in 2, and I think an out in 2 would be enough. He's got a 1-point lead. I'm only going to get 18 points, so he's got to score about 17 points, less the count back of 10 if I played theme. He's only got to score about 8 points. Any 2 move out would win for my opponent. And any 1 move out would win for me. I'm looking at row H. I've got the F for going underneath the I of Vi, and the S for going underneath OES. But FOPs doesn't play in that lane. I'm looking at the kid front hook to see if I've got something going through the D and the A in column 4. Can't see anything. Nothing through the Z. Alright, Zoes and Laws. 19 points, that's not better than theme. Well, hopefully my opponent is going to spend some time, because it will give me some thinking time. Now, what about row E? Because tube takes an S. Do I have anything ending TIS? And I'm not looking for outs here, I'm just looking for high-scoring plays. Sowers is good. So I've got an S for going in front of Ewers. Okay, nothing there. Now my S also goes after ABBA. I've got SOP and O's. 10 points. Well, what a shame there isn't more opportunities or somewhere to play my FOPs. That would be a fantastic comeback. I think my opponent really ought to be able to go out in 2, but maybe he's struggling. And I think if he can't go out in 2, I might be a favourite to win this. But if I play theme, I'll be opening up a good row for my opponent in row E, so maybe I don't want to play theme first. Only 11 points. Great, my opponent can't go out in 1, I don't think, with that rack. Oh, he's got out Vi through this V, so I've got to block that. How can I do that? Nothing through the V. Well, I could play ifs. Then I'm looking for somewhere to play my P and my O. Can I play PO somewhere? SOP. Yep. Only 7 points for ifs. Is there anywhere else to play PO? I've got 2 minutes left. Pol in column 5, so I can go out, but if scores so little, do I want to play my F? This doesn't block out Vi. Rats. Gonna have to do something better than that. Oh, what a shame that doesn't block out Vi. I've got to assume my opponent has seen out Vi. And ISO, does this block it? Yes, that does block it. And I'm creating a spot for FOP. And I'm keeping the theme spot. IO's is also good. Got 1 minute left. But ISO is better because of the FOP out. Is there any other way I can block out Vi? Now my opponent may have a second out, but I don't have time to look for it. So I'm now 8 points behind. Actually, my opponent will probably win. Because I don't think FOP is going to score enough. So is there anywhere else for F and P to go out? And I'll need to consider whether I want to play theme. So it may not be best to play out in one. Can't see anywhere else other than FOP. No idea what my opponent can score. But I've got 47 seconds to assess my options. I'm currently 8 points behind. And I'll get some count back if the FOP spot is not blocked. If my opponent places an O at I2, I've got poof at I1. So there should be time for me to consider my options because they are so limited. My opponent has got 6.5 minutes left. So what I'm looking at is FOP in row I through the O of ISO, or theme in row D. Okay, he has blocked that. He's got OU left. He can certainly play that in more than one spot, I think. Theme for 18 points. It's not going to be enough. Am I missing something? Has my opponent got 2 spots for his OU? He may not. In which case, maybe I should play pi here. 15. Just in case he can't play I haven't blocked OU. Okay. That was foolish. He's got OU in column 1 making OE. That's what I mistakenly thought I was blocking. And he's also got OU in column 4 making TOO. Yeah. Wow, that was a close end to the game. So the final score, 404 to me, 423 to my opponent. A winning margin for him of 19 points. So a really close end to the game, thanks to Antimir. Let's see what I missed, and in particular whether the game was winnable at the end. So my opponent went first. I didn't see Feek, which did get rid of the F and the Q. And yeah, I think that's better than WACF. Enemies, nice bingo for my opponent. Unbitten was good. Okay, that was, well, I did see it, but I didn't reject it. Sorry, and I did reject it, and I shouldn't have. Tube, yeah, probably second best, but by a long margin. Oterine, and it does have an anagram, no tear, which I didn't see, but it didn't score more points. Hood at G3. Okay, keeping the U, which isn't good. I think Hour for 5 fewer points and ditching the U was better. Gone is for 40, looks best. This is where I had a lot of duplicates, and did looks fine. Well, I really struggled with this. I don't think fillet was best. Flight was good. Yeah, I think flight is better than fillet. But I didn't like that move. But it spooked my opponent, I think, into getting a low score. Type K14. This is where I played Gapey for a really good rack leave. And Clarty is good. Okay, that's what it's doing, playing type and making Clarty. Okay. Not sure about that because my rack leave after Gapey is hugely better than any of those rack leaves. Now, did my opponent miss a bingo? Airshed, he did. Wow, that's a tricky one to see, parallel to fillet. This is where I had Evirate. Nowhere to play it. And I struggled with this rack. This is where I played Vi to open the board up. And, oh, well, Ivy. 39 points, a huge score. Okay, and it would have given my opponent a big score because he had the Z, so he could have made Chiz. Win. That looks best. And this is where I was very fortunate to get Anti-Mir down to give me a hope in this game. Now, my opponent could have played out Give through the V. That would have easily won the game. Instead, he played Cuz. Well, the recommendation here is Theme, but that allows my opponent to go out without Vi, and that's what I had to stop. And I don't think any of the options there are taking into account the need to stop out Vi. I suppose what I could have done is played to perhaps assume that my opponent wouldn't spot out Vi if ISO doesn't guarantee the win. But I suspect, given the point sacrifice given that he sacrificed his blank for so few points, that he had seen it. Now, what could my opponent have done? Okay, Vite. Now here, yeah, it was still Theme was best and Pies was second best, so the game was not winnable at the end. Anti-Mir gave me hope, but my pickup of Fops was not good enough on this board, and my opponent won, so well done to him. I hope you enjoyed that game. I think there are a number of interesting positions to consider, and I think it also illustrates the need not to give up hope and to always try and play your best, because before Anti-Mir I looked dead and buried, and Anti-Mir brought me right back into it. So, and I think one of the reasons I spotted Anti-Mir is that I'd already thought of it in my head before Dyer was played, so always be alert for potential bingos, because you don't know what hooks your opponent is going to make available. So that's the end of that. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of that. My name's David Webb. This has been a video for Dweebovision.